Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Closet Door podcast. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Jorge Dat, and I am a master certified life coach. And today I have a very special guest. For those of you who know him, you know that he is a really, really good artist and an amazing performer. He is not only someone who knows the stage, but he definitely knows how to use it. His name is Cande, also known as Vera Versace. So, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for giving me the time and space to share your thoughts, ideas, going back in memory lane and share with us your stories. Welcome, and how are you? How's life treating you, Cande?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Life so far is treating me well. Just coming off this win, so it's been good so far.
Oh, I know. Hell to the queen. Hell to the queen. That's amazing. We're going to talk a little bit about that later. But I want to
Okay.
start with how I usually start the podcast getting to know you, the beginning of Cande, your childhood, your upbringing. How was that journey, that story of yours? Can you tell us a little bit about how your childhood was and your coming out story?
Yeah. So I am a native Laredoan, born and raised in Laredo, Texas. Um, I grew up with both my parents, my mom and my dad. For the most part of my life, I was an only child to like about 10 once I met my half brother, who then came into our lives. And then I had somebody else with me, which was great. Um, it was a pretty normal childhood. Nothing really dramatic. I was pretty much alone for the most part. It was just me and my mom and my dad. Until again, like when my brother came along, and I was a very shy child. I was really quiet. I didn't really like talking to people. I was very nervous around new people. In school, I think I was also pretty quiet. Very kept to myself. I was not very social. I did not have a lot of friends. It wasn't until probably high school once I started to really find myself like as a person that I started to come out a little bit of out of my shell when I joined band.
Mm.
Yeah.
What instrument did you play?
I played the bari sax, the super big one. Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, I played all three. I played the tenor, the alto, and the bari. She was versed.
All right, go on.
So there in high school, that's when I started figuring out my sexuality. Um, I coming out as gay. I first came out to my friends, obviously, the people that were the easiest to come out to, the ones that really knew you. Like my parents knew me, but my friends, I think our friends like know us a little bit more, you know what I mean? So I came out to them, and then I grew the courage my sophomore year to come out to my mom. And that was interesting. That was fun.
How so?
She um well, I thought that she was pretty easy to come out to. I had all the signs pointing to come out, like literally. I remember it so vividly. We were at my tia's house, and she was like dropping something off, and I was waiting in the car with her for her, sorry. And this song came out, and I honestly don't remember the name of the song, but I remember the lyrics. Like the lyric went about like to come out, like to show yourself, to show your truth. And I was like, this is the sign. This is the moment. This is going to be it. Like I'm going to come out to her. So I waited until we got home because she got a phone call in the car when I was about to tell her. And then we got home, and my cousin's friend, who's a lesbian, who had a girlfriend at the time, was there, and I was like, "Oh, this is the moment." Yeah, all the signs are pointing for me to come out today to her. So then after all that, we went inside and I sat down with her and I told her, at first, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I came out to her as bisexual because I felt like that's a little bit easier for her. But I knew I was gay, straight up gay. And um it was it wasn't, I guess it wasn't what I really thought it was gonna be. You know, I really thought that she was gonna be a little bit um easier to ease it, if that makes any sense. She was not upset. She loved me for who I was either way. But upset in a either way. She had like plans for the future, like for me, like to, have a wife, have kids, get married. She was gonna help my wife like get the bridal dress and all that stuff. But I was like, no, actually, I like boys. It was a little awkward at first, but it wasn't so bad. With her, it was the easiest. With my
Oh,
dad, that was a different story. He was a lot harder. And it was by mistake coming out to him. I wasn't ready to come out to him in high school at all. I wasn't going to tell him anything until I left the house, once I was in a safer area. And I was on the phone. This was when I came out to my mom. Sorry, it was a sophomore year. When my dad, it was my junior year in high school, and I was on the phone with a friend, and we were talking about this boy from school, and we're like, "Oh my god, yes, he's so hot," and all that stuff, that girl talk that I had with her, and I didn't know that he was nearby, and I guess he was like eavesdropping, by the door, and I just he doesn't even knock. He just opens the door and he's like, hang up the phone. And
oh
I'm like,
my goodness.
OMG. I was like, OMG, this is he heard. He must have heard something. And then I did what he told me, and then he just looked at me and he asked me straight up, do you like boys?
Oh,
And I was like, well, here we are. I This is the moment now, ni modo. So I told him the truth, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. He didn't kick me out of the house because he didn't want to. He told me he didn't want to be that guy to kick me out. So instead, he kicked himself out of the house.
wait a
Very
second. How?
dramatic.
How?
I
How?
know.
How? How does that work?
uh,
Why?
he was just like, I can't be living under here with you, so I'm
Oh my
gonna remove
goodness.
myself. He's like, you can stay in the house with your mom and your brother, but I'm leaving. And I was
Wow.
like, that's so dramatic. At the time, it was real hard. We argued, obviously, back and forth, yelling at the top of our lungs, until he was like, yeah, like I'm leaving. And I was like, fine, that's fine by me. It was very nice knowing you. And then he left my room, and I just burst into tears. I called my friends and I was like, oh my God, like I just came out. He's so upset with me. Like I didn't want to, I wasn't ready. But obviously, like he overheard the conversation from the phone. And the next moment, my mom came into the room, and because I think she had just gotten home from doing something, and they spoke in the first floor in the kitchen together. And then they both came into my room, and he was a little bit more calm now. And he was just basically like, I'm not going to leave, and you're not going to leave, but we're going to go to therapy for this. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, I don't have to go to therapy for this at all. This is just who I am. And at the time, I had a bunch of Lady Gaga posters all over my wall. And he was like, is that what she means? That you were born this way? And I was like, exactly that, girl.
Mm.
And he was like, if you don't go to therapy, I'm going to get you out of all of your electives. He was gonna get me out of band, out of VMT, because I went to uh, Sierra High School in Laredo, and I went to the magnet school, the fine arts magnet school downtown. Back when it was downtown, it was still downtown, and he was like, "I'm gonna take you out of everything," and in my head, I'm like, "Oh shit, oops." I was like, "Oh no, like that's where all my friends are at.
Oh,
Those are where all the girls are at, you know?" Those are all my safe spaces. Like, I didn't want to. So I was like, fine, I guess I can go. But I never went, obviously. But it was real awkward for like about a whole year in the house. Like, he never left, I never left, but we never spoke to each other ever. It was real tense all the time. It wasn't until when he saw my heartbreak that that he came around and he was like, "Hey, like what's wrong?" And I was like, "Nothing. It's just boy problems. Like there's this guy that I really like, but he's straight." Uh, and he obviously doesn't want anything with me, but I'm like empapado with him. And then that's when he, came around. He spoke to me. He's like, "No, like, men are shit." And I was like, "I know they are." But I was really thankful for him to come around. I know that he spoke to my uncle, because my one of my cousins is a lesbian, and she came out to my uncle, and he spoke to him to seek advice on what to do, the next step, I guess. And all my uncle said was, there is no next step. It is just you continuing to love and support your child. And that's it. Punto caso cerrado. There's nothing else for you to do except that. Because there's nothing wrong with him. And that's when he came around. And now they're both of my parents are like my biggest supporters.
oh
My
my
mom goes to my
goodness.
drag shows
That's
all the time.
beautiful. So when did your mom come around though?
She kind of came around around the same time that my dad did. So I would say like my senior year, going into my senior year.
Hmm.
So there wasn't that much of a tension in the household anymore. It was finally at peace. I mean, kind of at peace. Everybody was still worried because I was always out with my friends partying on the weekends, but it was that they had to worry about. It wasn't them trying to shove, you know, a religion down my throat or trying to shove me to change who I am. But I couldn't change who I am because I was born like that.
Yeah. So how is that relationship and support from your younger sibling?
Well, he's my older sibling. He's older by 1 year.
Okay.
So before my dad got married with my mom, he was with another woman and they had a child together, but he didn't know that she was pregnant. I know, the whole escandalo. And when he got with my mom, he didn't know for 10 years until he received a letter from child support that he owed. And
Oh
he was
wow.
like, "Child, what?" So they did the whole, blood work, and it was his, my brother. And no, yeah, my brother, he's another one of my biggest supporters
Oh
too. I didn't know this, but in high school, he used to defend me a lot when people would make fun of me because I was gay.
wow.
And I didn't know this until my dad mentioned this to me. And he was like, "You know that he defends you, right?" And I was like, "No, I didn't know that." And he was like, "Yeah, he does. Like when people tease you." And I was like, "Wow."
And by that
I,
time he knew you were his brother.
yeah, by that time, yeah, because I
Okay.
had met my brother when I was 10, my brother was 11.
Okay.
And then, we grew up together from there on.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, so
Cande,
he
how
was
old are
also,
you?
me, I just turned 27.
Okay. Oh my God, such a
Yeah,
baby.
I know, I'm so young.
Oh my God. All right, so go on with the story. So how did
So,
that impact you your emotional state being, your emotional intelligence, how when they, change their ways towards you and how you identify it as, how was that change for you? How did that
Oh,
impact your self-esteem and confidence?
oh, it thousandfold it impacted me. I Before them turning over and, accepting me, fully accepting me, I had really bad anxiety. And it was when I first had the first taste of a panic attack, an anxiety attack. It was the worst feeling ever. I had never had I ever experienced anything like that before. It feels like you're literally dying, like your heart is just beating so fast and your chest gets so heavy, and it was so scary. And I had a lot of those back then, uh, because I was so uncertain. I was always on edge with what was going to happen, what I should say, what I can't say, watch what I say around my dad. But after coming around, sorry, it was like a relief. Like I felt this like weight, huge weight off my shoulders. Like when people say that in movies, I'm always like, that's so dumb. Like I don't get it. No, but I got it. I literally felt that just come off me, and I just felt light. And then from there on, it's just like boom. I grew my confidence. I was at 100. I started really finding myself more as a person, and exploring myself as well.
Good. And you, um, are you, where are you in the rainbow pretty much? Do you identify as pansexual, bisexual? Because you said you are bisexual, but knowing
Oh,
you're gay,
yeah.
so how do you
Yeah.
identify it?
I identify fully as gay.
As queen.
As Yes, ma'am, as a queen. But sometimes use the term gay, but I start using the term queer now.
That's what I'm okay, good. That's why I'm
Like,
asking.
yeah, that like I like that one a little bit more because it's just the whole spectrum. You know what I mean?
Good. Good. So tell me, so that was your childhood. That was what you went through from not being accepted to then being accepted. So from the moment you were accepted and it helped with your self-confidence and self-esteem from your parents, your sibling. I mean, you already had the support and acceptance from your friends, but how did that self-esteem and confidence help build you to get to the point of starting the drag queen career?
So with that, I would say what really helped me was when I decided to move out of Laredo.
Mm,
I had just graduated high school. I had just turned 18 because I graduated when I was 17, and then my birthday came in July, and I turned 18, and I had a lot more freedom now because I was 18 and I was already working, and I had a job. Yeah, I had a job. My parents would lend me their car, and then it wasn't until I turned 19 that I fully got to be the confidence that I wanted and really find myself. And that was when I moved out of Laredo by myself, and I left to San Antonio when I was 19 years old with only like $100 in my pocket.
mm.
Yeah. I
Wow, why?
had because I wanted to live my life. I wanted to explore myself because I love Laredo, but at the time it was still, I guess I would want to say, like a closed-minded community. I didn't really see much of myself here as I wanted to. I went to the gay club like maybe twice back when Chelsea's was still open, but it was at the point when it was already changing management and all that. Um, I got to go to that maybe once or twice, but it wasn't until I went to San Antonio when I went. when I started meeting new friends and making new gay friends, actual gay friends. Because in high school, I had my friends, but they were all straight.
Mhm.
I had my straight guy friends and my straight girlfriends, and they were great, great people. I love them. Like I can never thank them enough for really helping me through my high school career. Because I mean, if it wasn't for them, really don't know where I would really be right now. And when I started meeting new gay people and I started to really come out of the closet, that's when I really started to find myself. I started watching a little show called RuPaul's Drag Race. I had never seen it myself before, and I had Hulu at the time. I didn't have cable because, I mean, it was expensive to have cable, and I was by myself. So Hulu had several seasons on there, and that's how I started getting to know drag. And I was like, oh my god, they're so sassy. I love it.
So was
I
that when you
never.
were 19, 20?
I was 19. Yeah, I
Okay.
was still 19. Uh huh. And I was living over there, and my gay friends that I had made that I work with, because I worked at Texas Roadhouse over there, and I met a lot of new friends, and they took me out to the bars downtown to the Heat. Well, yeah, it was only the Heat. We had only gone to the Heat before, and the Bonham Exchange, if I'm not mistaken. But it wasn't until I started going to the Heat when seeing the girls do Drag Me to Fame, which was a whole competition. I think it was a weekly competition. They still do it. They still do it nowadays, but it's at a different venue. And they used to do it there at the Heat, and it was called Drag Me to Fame, and it was these queens literally competing every single week, busting out new outfits, dancing to new songs, different like themes and whatnot. And it was, I think, in that time when I started to really think, you know what, like this is so much fun. At first, I never really thought of myself as a drag queen, you know, because yeah, I had grown the confidence and I was a little bit more out there, but I never really thought that I could be one myself. I love dancing. I love dancing, but I was always shy at dancing in front of people because I was always a little bit bigger than everybody else. I was always a little bit overweight, and that always had me like, no, don't move because like your belly's gonna move, like all your fat's gonna shake, like just just stand and do nothing
Oh
and
my
just stand and watch.
goodness.
Yeah. But I thought to myself, you know what? Like, no, like, there's people out there that are literally bigger than me that have no F's in the world that are just, bigger than life personalities. And I thought, maybe, who knows? Maybe. But living in San Antonio was fun. But then, living with roommates is another thing, especially when people aren't responsible.
Mm.
So we ended up getting evicted from one apartment. I moved in with another friend who I thought was my friend at the time. Um, with her mom, with her and her mom, and they were from the valley. So I was like, "Oh my god, 956. Yes, we understand each other, girl. Like, yes, we see each other, mama." No, it was a whole different thing. It was real toxic living there with her,
Mm.
and yeah, I ended up getting kicked out one, like not once more, but I got kicked out from her place. And at the same time, I don't really like to say that I got kicked out because I left on my own accord because I just wasn't comfortable there anymore. Um, I had already put down an actual payment for my own apartment in San Antonio because I was like, I'm not gonna move back to Laredo. I can't be one of those people that moves out and doesn't make it and has to move back. So I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. No matter what. I was sleeping in hotel rooms for like 2, 3 weeks. uh, my money was really getting really low because I had to spend more money on the hotel rooms to stay there. And I was terco that I wasn't going to come back. No. I was already running low on money, and I said, you know what, ni modo, I have to come back to town, and I did. I came back to Laredo. I moved back in with my mom and my dad. Even before I left, they always said, if you if you don't make it over, you have the door right here that's open. You have your home. You have your room. Like, just come back home. Like, cry a little bit if you have to, wallow in yourself, but then pick yourself back up and go back out there. And
And you
when I
moved
moved
back
back,
when you were what, 20, 21?
20. I literally was only there for like a year,
Okay. Okay.
but it was the best year of my life. And I moved back when I was 20, and I didn't have a job coming back. It was real hard trying to find a job at the time. So I was real depressed because I was, damn, dude, like my friends want to hang out and they want to go eat, but I can't even afford to do that myself. Like, and I don't want to ask my mom and my dad for, hey, can I have like $20 to go eat with my friends? I didn't want to be that either. Even though my mom would give me money every now and then, she'd be like, here, mijito, like for whatever you want. Okay, thank you, mom. But still, I didn't want to be a pedicha and ask all the time. So when I moved back, it was real hard for me. I was in a real deep depression coming back. And I started working again. I don't even remember where I started again. Oh, Texas Roadhouse. They took me back in, the one here in Laredo. The best crew ever. Like the managers there, I love them so much. If any of them are listening, Josh, Christy, I love you
Shout
guys.
out to Steakhouse.
Yes, shout out to Roadhouse, girl. I
Give us
love y'all
free
so
food,
much.
by the way.
Please give me some free appetizers, baby.
Free
I need some
advertising.
rattlesnake
Hey.
bites. Yeah, I'm advertising for you guys, okay? And it's when I moved back into and I started working at Texas Roadhouse, and I thought to myself, you know what? Like I have so much time. I'm not going to school because I was going, but then I dropped out from college because I was like, I want to live my life. And I really thought that school wasn't really for me at the time. And I was like, no, like this is, it's not that it was too stressful. It wasn't. It was just like, I wasn't really doing what I wanted to do, which at the time I didn't know what it was.
That's fair.
But I knew it
Yeah.
was something else.
There you go.
And when I came back and I started working and all that good stuff, I got to meet this one guy who's one of my best friends. His name is Andy. Shout out Andy. Yes, girl. And we started hanging out. He was like probably one of my first gay friends back home. And we started hanging out a lot. And then I thought to myself, you know what, girl? Like, I really want to do something more for the community. Like, I want to be a part of the gay community here. And I don't know if there's any nonprofit organizations or if there's something that I can do to be a part of something bigger than just me. And I remember going on Facebook. I don't remember the name of this page, of this Facebook page, but it was basically like, I guess like not advertising, but informing people of several organizations within Laredo that were a part of the LGBTQ community. You know, so I started asking them, like, what can I join? Like, what can I do? And they pointed to me. They pointed this one organization called Campus Ally Network, CAN for short, at TAMIU. And I was like, okay, you know what? These are college students. Like, they're around my age. Like, that's perfect. That's even better. So I messaged this group on Facebook, and I told them, I was like, hey, I'm just a citizen. I do not go to school here at TAMU. I was like, but I would love to join you guys to see what I can contribute, right? To see what else I could change. And sure enough, they responded back and they were like, it doesn't matter if you're not a student, just come. We need members. And I was like, perfect. I'm on my way. When's the next meeting? So The next meeting happened, and I think they had meetings every single Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Or if it wasn't Friday, it was on Thursdays. So long ago. And I was 21 at the time already. And I started going to these meetings. I met new people. I met queer people, which was what I wanted. I wanted to surround myself with others like me, and to really get to know all these different types of people, all these from all walks of life. Because I was at the university and there's a lot more people than at the community college. And not dissing on the community college whatsoever, though. Love Laredo College,
Shout out
but
to Loreto Community
uh,
College. Hey.
period. Yes, girl. But they didn't have any organizations for an LGBTQ community group or anything like that at LC, which needs to change. But at TAMU, they did. So I went and I joined. I went to the meetings. I got to meet all these new people. And then they had one specific meeting that they spoke about. And at the time, the president, who is my dearest friend, like he's like my sister now, Chema, he was the founder of this organization and he was the president at the time, obviously. And he wanted to have the first ever drag show at TAMU. First ever. The only problem was we didn't know any drag queens.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my friend Chema, he is from Eagle Pass and he had come down to Laredo to go to the university here. So he obviously didn't know anybody. And neither did I. I was like, oh, girl, I'm from Laredo, but I don't know any drag queens either. Sorry. So then he said, okay, any members that would like to do it can do it. Like, please, somebody say something. Somebody say, I will be the drag queen. Like, I'll do it. And I thought to myself, oh my God, this is it. This could be the opportunity. Like, I better take advantage. So I said, girl, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. And I was like, I don't want to do it. But inside, I was like, yeah, I want to do it. So I said yes. And he was like, okay. But it was just me. And there was this other girl. Her name was Amanda, who was going to be a drag king. And I was like, yes, girl, I love that. But it was only two of us. So then he said, you know what? As president, I can't just be like, my members are going to do this. He's like, I'm going to do it myself too.
Oh,
So he did drag as well.
right.
And at the time, before the name that I have right now, I was known as CC Gage. I know.
Disengaged.
CC Gage, girl. Yeah.
I love it.
I got the name Cece from I don't know if you've ever seen this, The Nanny.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
love The Nanny. I was so obsessed with it. And there's this one character, Cece Babcock. And I was like, oh my God, I'll just be Cece. And I thought about using the last name Babcock, but then another member from Can, who I got in close to, was like, how about Gage? Ooh, that sounds so interesting. And I was like, you know what, girl, you're onto something. I like this. And I still remember my first performance that I did.
Oh, wow. What was the name?
Yeah. Um, my first song that I ever did, there's photos,
Wow.
not on social media, but I have those photos
Oh,
myself.
you should share them on your Facebook. Be proud of it.
I should. I should
Yeah.
probably. Girl, I was a mess.
Oh.
But I did the song S&M by Rihanna because I
Mm.
thought I was that person.
Oh, that's how good.
Yeah, I know. And I did that song and I did this other song called Glass and Patron by FKA Twigs.
Hmm.
That song was great. But that's when that's when I first did drag. But then after the event and after everything, I said, I'm never gonna do this again. This was so much work. Like my feet hurt. I'm so uncomfortable. Like I can never do this. Ever, ever, ever. And at that event, there was one queen locally that was here, that was at that event, who performed alongside with us. And her name is Jasmine Knight. And she, alongside with this other queen, Margot Landro, started hosting newcomer nights at Taboo on Wednesdays. And she had overheard me saying, I'm never going to do this ever again. Like, no. Literally 2 weeks later, she messages me and she's like, hey, I'm having newcomer night, but I don't have any newcomers. Can you do it? And I was like, I don't know how to paint myself, girl. Like, I cannot paint myself. I don't know anything about makeup. I barely found out about foundation. Like, I'll do it if you do my makeup. And she was like, deal. And I was like, perfect. Awesome. So I I ended up going over to my drag sister. Her name is Chema, who also started doing drag with me at the time. Miss X, formerly known as Miss X back then. Now she goes by a different name now.
Wow.
But yeah, we went to her apartment, and we started getting ready there. Jasmine got me ready, and it was me, Chema, my other friend Kika, who at the time was named Jackie Vox, and another friend of mine, Erin, who would go by the name of the Omen. She was more of an alternative girl, and I loved it.
And this is when you were 21, 22?
22. No, yeah. No, 21. I was about to turn 22 though in the summer.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
So long ago. And I remember I went to the show. I went to the club. There was literally like 6 people in the audience. 6 people. And I also remember my first song that I debuted there at Taboo. It was called Deep Throat by Cupcake. Ah, yeah. I was real raunchy back then. I wanted to be real raunchy. And I performed to those 6 people, and I literally made like $2 in tips.
Oh.
And after the performance, those 6 people were clapping and cheering me like if there was so many people in there. And just getting a taste of that, really, like, it was like, you know what? Maybe this could be for me. Like, maybe I should continue doing drag. Like, this is so much fun. I don't know why I was complaining at Tammy U, but here at the club, I'm having the time of my life. Maybe it was the drinks, maybe not, but I was having such a great time, and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna continue doing this, and I did. I started doing this. I started doing it weekly or bi-weekly there at Taboo when they would host the newcomer nights, and Jasmine would get me ready, who obviously turned into my drag mother. She taught me every single little thing about what I know now. Um, it was her and my sisters. We were the first ones to start doing shows again at Taboo, because after Chelsea's had closed back in 2016, 2015, I could be one of those 2 years. After it closed, there was no more gay scene. There was no drag shows. No one was really doing anything anywhere. And it wasn't until Margot Landro and Jasmine Knight started doing shows at Taboo and started giving the opportunity to the new queens that wanted to come out. So the new girls that just wanted to go do a show, whether you knew how to do your makeup or you knew how to dance or you didn't, it was just the opportunity to showcase whatever you felt, to give you that one spotlight. I will remember this forever, and I still do now. And I tell all the girls about it, that um, one Margot Landro and La Jasmine Night, they they weren't given that opportunity when they were doing shows, because it was very close knit. Like, oh no, like I don't know you. You're not gonna perform here. And that's what they didn't want. They wanted to be inclusive with everybody and not say no to nobody. Like they were told no. So they made sure that everybody that was going felt comfortable enough to do the show. And I remember I did. And I started growing from there, doing more and more shows, and it was great. But then I also had to come out to my parents again.
Yeah, the second coming out.
The second come out,
How did
yeah.
they take it? How was that? How's that journey?
That was also different. I obviously, again, I came out to my mom first again. I was like, Mom, I like to do drag. I was like, I like dressing up, like, as a woman, but it's not in mockery of a woman. It's more as an empowerment because women are so admirable. You know what I mean? Like they're amazing. They do so much, and it's never really recognized. So I told her that I was doing drag, and she was very confused by it. Very confused. She thought I wanted to transition into a woman, and I was like, no, that doesn't mean that I want to transition. I mean, there's people that do transition, and I love it, because that's who they want, because that's who they found in themselves through the power of drag. But I told her, I was like, no, I still am a man, but this is more of a character that I've um grown into, or am I building up? You know what I mean? And again, she was real confused for a while. She was kind of like, I don't want you to do drag. I like it when you have your facial hair. You look so nice and handsome with facial hair. And I was like, Mom, I'm going to look good regardless if I have the facial hair or not. Okay. So I started doing it. And then it wasn't until when she saw me do one of my shows that she was like, you know what? Never mind. Like, this is really good. I love it. You're doing great. And I was like, thank you, Mom.
How,
And ever since then, she's big supporter, huge supporter.
how about you, Dad?
My dad, I never told him that I did drag. It was actually, there was a whole situation with my family. Um, Not my intermediate family, like not my mom, my dad, and my brother. It was more of a lot of issues within my dad's side of the family. So my tias wanted to use me dressing up as ammunition to hurt my dad because they thought that he would be embarrassed that I was dressing up as a woman. So they were going to blast me on Facebook just to get to my dad. There was a whole thing with that. And I remember when my dad found out, he took me outside and my mom was there and so was my brother. And he said, screw what they say. I don't care if that's what you like to do. He's like, I'm still gonna love you no matter what. If that's what you want to do, if you want to do drag, go ahead. He's like, I'm not embarrassed and I'm never gonna be embarrassed. He's like, so it's stupid that they want to use that against us. He's like, but this is the family. The four of us are in it together. And that really like reassured me that I was doing something correct.
That is amazing. That's a really good story. That's a really good second coming out story.
I know.
From the first
I
one to the
know.
second one, huge
Yeah.
transformation from your
Oh,
parents' side.
100%.
That is
Yeah.
amazing.
One.
So, with all of that, with everything that you lived through that journey, what would you say is or are the biggest lessons you've learned from being part of the drag community and from you being a drag queen?
I think the biggest lessons for me was from what my drag mother taught me. Don't care about what people say about you. Like, because I honestly, I was bullied by the drag community when I first started doing my shows. They would make fun of me. They would say that I was talentless, that I didn't have any drive, that I was fat, that I looked like a man, that they went as far as to say that I had diseases. And I was like, wow. Like, I never let that get to me. And that was one thing that they always taught me. Don't ever let it get to you because those people are nobodies. And my drag mother always told me, there's something in you, so don't you ever give up. Don't you ever let those people like bring you down. And I never let them bring me down. That was one of the biggest lessons that I had from.
That's good. Is your drag mom still around?
She is. She's just no longer in Laredo. She's in Houston with her mom, with her actual mom. She's actually been going through a lot recently. She's been, I don't know, she's diabetic and she has a lot of health issues. So I haven't gotten the chance to see her in so long. And I've been wanting to, but if she gets a little too excited, she ends up having seizures.
Mhm. No, no, mommy. We send you the
I know.
best energy from here. Take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
Now, let me ask you this in a few words or in a lot of words. Tell me about the beginning, which this is really exciting for me. Believe it or not, this is really, when I saw it, I remember the beginnings and it was, like, I love it. It made me smile. It made me happy. Talk to me about the drag house.
Uh, so the drag house started off again with my mother. She was the one who was like, "You guys are the drag house. That's what we're gonna call you guys." Because again, it was me, my sister, um, Midnight, who now goes by the name Midnight, my other sister Jackie Lantern, and the Omen.
Jackie.
Jackie Lantern, I know. So the four of us were considered the drag house, and with the teachings that Jasmine and Margot both gave me and my sister Midnight, we then moved on to starting to recruit girls, like girls that wanted to do shows. We were hosting the shows now. We had um that sense of sisterhood that we started building within each other and all the new girls that we started to get. So then it wasn't until my sister Jackie left to San Antonio, Midnight left to Eagle Pass, and my sister Omen left to Chicago. So I was the one left with all the work.
Wow.
So I became the head of the drag house and I started really promoting it, really trying to do as best as I could for it because I wanted to make sure that the girls were not treated like I was when I started. I wanted to make sure that everybody was treated equally and comfortable. You know, I didn't want any bullying in it like I was. So we ventured out from Taboo from the nightclubs and we ventured out to Frontera. And that's where we started to create a bigger safe space for everybody. Not only just great drag queens, but the whole queer community. Like, I never really thought that I would be the one in charge of something like that and how beautiful it is whenever I see the amount of people that go and enjoy themselves and come up to us after like, oh my god, like I love you guys so much, like you guys make me feel so safe and seen, and it's like it warms my heart. And I think that's what I knew what I wanted to do back then was this.
That is amazing. I mean, I live in Austin. I'm not in Laredo, but I do have all of you on my Facebook. So I do see the feeds and I see the clips from everyone posting when you guys are there. And that really honestly does make me smile. I mean, you can feel, you can see the sisterhood with the pictures you guys pose, with everything that you're doing. I mean, you can totally feel it from an image. So that means a lot. And that says a lot about how you guys are, leading and living what you're doing. So kudos and keep doing that because it's very needed everywhere and in
Yeah.
Laredo, which is where it's happening. So that's very good. I really love that. So who don't you like from the drag house? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Drag
I
house,
was
don't
about to
give
go
me hate.
off.
Don't give me
I
hate.
was about to go off.
I know they were gonna like
Let
you
me bring
bitch.
out the list.
I know. I'm kidding. I love all of you. Shut up. You guys will be coming to my podcast soon. I promise. I hope if you
Mm-hmm.
decide to come, it will be. You know what? It will be really good, Cande. If I could have
What?
the whole drag house in the podcast,
OMG, that would actually be kind of
that would be
cool.
really cool because I can guarantee you, I would not speak. You would all be speaking throughout the whole
Oh my
hour. I would not have to
god.
deal with
Oh yeah.
asking
Oh,
questions,
100%.
which is
Yeah.
what
We'd
I
be going back
want.
and forth.
That's good. I love it. So think about it and we can make that work. That would be amazing. But yes,
Oh,
kudos. Keep doing
100%.
what you're doing. I love what you guys are doing, especially for the community in Laredo, providing that, sense of freedom and sense of being who you are and celebrating who you are and your artistry from each and every one of you, which all of you are so completely different, yet you bring something new to the table. So I really, really love it and encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. I love it.
Thank
So
you.
now let me talk to you a little bit because can you believe it? Almost time to go.
I know. I looked at the time and I was like, girl, I've been rambling
Oh no, you've been
on. It's
sharing, which
so
is
quick.
perfect. But 1 hour goes by really fast, really, really
So
fast.
quick.
So I want you now to talk to me a little bit about your drive. Do you have any funny, any um interesting stories that you would like to talk to me about or share with the audience about an experience that may have happened while doing drag when you were performing, maybe from another drag queen or maybe from someone in the audience? Can you think of anything?
I'm trying to think.
Or
Dude.
have you ever been performing and then the heel breaks or your wig comes undone or something,
Oh,
or you get diarrhea in the
100%.
middle of the stage? I don't know.
Imagine. After having nachos in the backstage, I got
You have a
diarrhea on
bridesmaid
stage.
moment.
Yeah, it's happening. It's happening. Yeah.
I mean, because you all are human. I mean, I bet,
Yeah.
because I've talked to other people and like, yeah, sometimes it's very emotional and you go in there and you pretty much like use that emotion to do your performance. But if you take it to the other extreme, the other spectrum, other side of the spectrum, I mean, not the emotions, but the physicality of performing. I mean, I'm
Oh
sure
my
that
God.
sometimes you eat something you were not supposed to, or you get a little bit too drunk or something, and shit
Oh
happens.
yeah. Oh yeah. Shit happens. Yeah. I mean, I think I want to say, yeah, I've like honestly, I farted in front of a couple people when I'm performing. Girl, I'm moving a lot. Like sometimes I'm real gassy and I'll be collecting my money and I'll leave a extra behind for you
What
to
do you do? Do
smell.
you start like clapping, like, yeah, everyone, yeah?
Oh, absolutely not. The music covers all the noise. It's okay. That
Oh,
I've had my wig fly off my head several
oh my
times.
God. How?
Yeah, because it was when I was just starting. I didn't know anything about taping down the wig or gluing it down. I was just going in bare like that,
Hey,
and
uh,
it flew out of my head. I've fallen before several times because I mean, dancing in heels is a huge challenge.
and you are tall, aren't you?
Huge. Oh, I'm 6'1",
Six
and I'm
one.
like two. I'm 6'1", and I'm 240
Oh
pounds.
my
I'm
God,
a real big girl.
you're skinny. You're skinny.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Hell yes.
So yeah, I fallen several times. I think I broke a heel once. Before it was a stiletto, but
Ooh,
yeah, I mean, stilettos are always the worst to dancing because they're literal
I
sticks.
bet. Bet. Wow. How do you prepare? Do you have any rituals when you're about to perform? Do you do kind of like a drink or two? Do you smoke a joint?
Yeah,
Do you do what?
I okay. Since you said smoke a joint, hashtag 420 friendly here.
Yeah.
I I do that. I do that before I do the show. It really calms my nerves. And it really gets me creative. And I'm just like, yes, girl, like I could do it all. And then usually I'll take like a shot or two before I go on.
And you have
And
never
that usually
puked in the stage.
oh God, no, never,
Okay.
never, never,
You
never,
swallow it
never.
like a
I've
good girl.
like a good girl. Yes, sir. Mama ain't raised no quitter. No spitters up in here.
That is funny. All right. So those are your rituals. I mean, how else do you prepare other than doing that? Do you rehearse the
I
song? What do you do?
yeah. I like to listen to music, obviously. A lot of like Lady Gaga. Sometimes on occasions I'll listen to jazz music.
Nice.
And I'll straight up listen to like Ella Fitzgerald. I'll listen to Tony Bennett. And I'll be listening to Etta James. And it's just like soothing, calming. And I'm just like, yes, I'm in the zone. Sometimes I just don't want loud noises around me and I just want something calm and
There
soothing
you go.
that's gonna help me concentrate. Because, sometimes at the club, the music is blasting. It's so loud, because the speakers are loud. And sometimes I'm just like, you know what? Like before I go on the stage, like I want to listen to something very calm, collected, and not in my face.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
So that, and I know for sure I listen to my music, whatever I'm gonna perform, I listen to it at least twice or three times before, especially on the ride to the venue. I'll listen to the song and I'll envision what I'm gonna do in each part of the song.
Mm, the
That's
beauty
like
of
my main thing. Yeah.
visualization. That's good.
I will listen to music and I'll be in the zone and I'll be like, okay, you know what? Maybe I could do a turn here. I could do a little 1-2 move over here on this other part of the song. And I'll visualize it. And if I visualize it, I'll choose that song to do for that moment.
See, you meditate.
It's
Visualization is part of
basically that.
meditation. So good for you. See,
Thank
look at
you.
you. You smoke a joint, you get high, you have
Mm-hmm.
your alcohol in your system, but you meditate.
But I
That's right.
meditate.
That's
Yes,
right,
ma'am.
Generation Z or millennial.
Ah.
That's what I'm talking about. That's how you do it nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone told you to sashay away?
Absolutely not.
Have you ever told yourselves, I need to sashay away out of here?
Yes, a couple times when I get too drunk, I'm like, you know what, girl, I need to go home. I need to go do something else. I hate performing drunk. I cannot because I feel like I'm not in control and I can't do that.
Yeah,
I'll take a shot or two, but if I'm too drunk, I'll be like, nah, I'm not going on that stage. Sorry, I'm too drunk. I can't make a fool out of myself.
exactly.
Not in front of the community.
Yeah. So I've seen the clips and everyone has their cell phone out recording. So,
Mhm.
mhm. So, what advice would you give to someone that is interested or want to go into this career path of this sort of artistry being uh, drag? What advice would you give them?
Probably have fun. Have fun. Don't take it too serious at all. Because at the end of the day, we're just a man in a wig. You're just dancing. It's supposed to be fun. And don't let any of the haters, any of them, get to you at all. Because they're going to look at you in a couple years and they're going to be like, damn, I take all my words back. And that's how I feel right now after winning. All
Mm.
the haters are just looking up at me, and I'm looking down at all of them, and I'm saying, "Ha! All of you saying that I was talentless, that I was never gonna get anywhere. Look me now,
Eat your heart
and look
out,
at where.
bitch.
Eat your heart out, bitch, and look at where you're at."
There you go. Speaking of winning, tell us about your new title. How did that come about? Congratulations.
Thank
Tell
you.
me, how's that been since you've, won?
It's been great. I have been blessed to meet new people from Houston, from San Antonio, from the Valley. I've gotten to really explore my connections with different types of people. I just got booked in Houston and in Corpus.
Look at
So this title has been it's been a blessing, even though it's literally only been like 2, 3 weeks. It's been a huge blessing already, getting all these new opportunities, getting to showcase myself to different people in different cities. And that's literally what I want, is to showcase what I have and what I can bring to all different types of people,
okay.
whether it be in Laredo or in the Valley, X, Y, and Z, all that good
And
stuff.
for those of them, for some of the audience members who do not know what the title is, tell them what the title is.
So, your girl just won Miss Gay Laredo, US of A at large.
Woo!
Yes,
All
it is
right.
a very prestigious title and pageant. So I'm very excited for the next step, which is going to be state,
That's awesome.
competing for Texas.
That is. When is that gonna be?
Oh, that's in September.
Oh,
It's like
dang.
so close. It's like right around the
Already
corner.
coming up.
I know, but don't you worry. Mama has already been preparing. I've already been practicing with my backup dancers, getting everything in motion. Gotta make sure it's all together.
Just make sure you're not brain fried when you go on the stage.
Oh, of course not. No,
Good,
absolutely
good. Or if not, I
not.
mean, just do it. Just practice.
Practice, practice, practice. Smoke a blunt after, and you'll be fine.
Oh my god! For those underage, by the way, we're kidding. He means cilantro. That's what he does. He
Yes,
smokes cilantro, dry
cilantro. Yeah.
cilantro, and herbs. There you
Mm-mm.
go. Yes. Another thing,
Oregano.
since you're gonna start traveling around the state or maybe outside of the state of Texas, for those because the Laredo community knows you, but for those of in the audience that are from the whole state and have never seen you perform, or at least not live, can you tell them a little bit what your drag persona is? What you focus on? Who is Vera?
That is a very good question. Ooh. Um, I would want to say that I focus on myself as a dancing girl, but I'm not a trained dancer. I just give you what I can, which is a lot of 1, 2 steps and a lot of energy when I'm performing. I like to make sure that the audience member is smiling and having fun alongside with me. Because if I'm not having, they're not having fun. And that's the whole point, is for, again, everyone to enjoy themselves and be free and liberate.
Good. And you're a 360 kind of drag queen. First on the stage as a drag
360.
queen, but now you're moving into the pageantry world. So
Yeah.
very, very
It,
different styles. So that's really good.
oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
Very different. It's very, the pageant world is completely different from the regular type of performances that I would just do. Because I like to think of myself as a theatric.
Mm,
Not so much theater or Broadway, but
right.
theatrics. Yeah.
Yeah. Pulling shit out of your sleeves.
We'll
Adapting,
just
in other
say that.
words. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
She's an adapter.
I have to ask because it's almost time to go. I really do
Oh
have to ask. So
no.
please do explain to me, and maybe it's me that I'm an idiot, and I mean, I don't know. But how did you come up with your name, and why do you pronounce it Versace and not
Yeah.
Versace?
So, for those who've never seen it, there is a movie that I watch religiously. It is called Showgirls.
Hmm.
It's on Tubi for those who've never seen it. Tubi is absolutely free with ads, of course. But in the movie's about a girl who moves into Las Vegas because she wants to be a showgirl. She wants to be on stage and performing and all that stuff. It's a very explicit movie, so make sure that you are of age to watch
Hmm.
this, please.
Yes.
But there is a scene in the movie where she meets the director, and it's the first time that she goes, and she's wearing this gorgeous black Versace dress. So she goes in, and the director goes, "Oh my God, I love your dress. Where did you get it?" And then she goes, so confidently, "Thanks. I bought it at Versailles." And everyone in there was quiet, and they all look at each other like, "Is this girl for real?" And the director didn't want to break her spirit. And he goes, "Oh, Versailles. I love Versailles." And then she's like, "Ha, me too."
Now I'm gonna have to watch the movie. Oh my
Yes, you
god.
do.
That's a really good
And
story. Okay.
yeah,
I love
and
it.
it's so funny. I used that clip, that specific clip. I used it in one of my mixes, in my comedy
Good,
mix that I have.
good.
Yeah,
I
there's a
love
couple
that.
people that get it, but
Love it.
those are the people that I love.
Yeah, for those baby boomers and traditionalists and so forth, maybe you're gonna have to watch the movie. For those younger
Oh yeah.
generations, maybe you know about the movie. But how about Vera?
Vera, I Vera, I got it because there's a movie that I used to watch religiously when I was a baby, and it was called Larger Than Life. Bill Murray comes out in this movie. Have you seen it?
I think so, yeah.
And it's about his dad who passes away, who leaves him a fortune, but it's not really a big fortune. Well, it is a big fortune, but it's not money. It's an elephant. And the elephant's name is Vera.
Oh,
And I love elephants.
that is my
So
favorite animal.
no
I'm
way.
serious. I love
Uh,
animals. I even have right here on
yeah.
my table right now. I'm looking at my little wooden elephant that I have that my sister
That's
gave
so
me. I love animals.
cute. Yeah, me too. The first movie I ever had when I was a baby was Dumbo,
Me
and I would
too.
no, no, I
Oh
love
my
that.
god. That's so
Twinsies.
cool. Maybe I should be a drag queen too.
Yeah,
Oh
colors.
my
Yeah,
god.
yeah,
We could be
yeah.
twinsies.
I'll paint you. I'll
Oh,
do your
oh,
makeup.
oh, that is a really good thing that you just brought up. And I was going to ask, but I forgot. But now you're reminding me. At the beginning, you said that you told that lady, you know what, I'll do it, but if you paint me, do you now paint yourself?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do. Ever since I got contacts and I could finally see,
How long
I
does it
started
take you to do
painting
your
myself.
makeup for a performance?
Nowadays, it literally takes me like an hour and a half. I'm so quick with my makeup.
Jesus, mother of Christ. Only an hour and a half is quick.
Yeah, an hour and a half is quick. Sometimes I'll do it under an hour. And that's that I have to cover my eyebrows. I just double down on the work.
That's crazy. For those out there who are very critical about drag queens and you're like, you don't look good or whatever, look at all the fucking things they have to do to be on stage and how long they take them to get on that stage and perform to entertain your lousy asses. For those of you that are lousy, because a lot of people
For
go to these
real.
shows just to be critical. So just
Yep.
pay that, take that into consideration. When you're going to a drag show, these are artists that are taking the time out of their busy day that they're not
Mm-hmm.
getting paid enough, but they do it because of the love of the art. And they have to wear high heels, wear clothes that are
Yep.
too tight or that are too uncomfortable, wigs that are so heavy, hours of having to sit down and
Tuck.
do makeup. It's a lot. So the
Having
least
to
that you
tuck.
need to do when you go to a drag show is if you don't have money to tip, which you should, but if not, at least smile and clap and admire their work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Say that a little bit louder for the girls in the back.
I know because that really does upset me. I mean, I don't do drag, but I've been to drag shows and a lot of people are really critical and they think they don't see the amount of work and dedication that takes to do what you artists do, and they really need to see it
Yeah.
as a form of art, because it is.
Yeah.
To me, it totally is.
Ex- yeah.
Good. So, single, married, divorced, what are you?
I am currently in a relationship with my boyfriend. We are
Yay!
going
How
on
long?
3 years. We're going on 3 years in October.
Beautiful. Happy? Does he hate you? Is he abusive?
I'm blinking twice because he's so abusive. Help me.
You are funny. Oh my God. Can you
No,
share his name so we can say hi to him?
yes, it's so funny. His name is Aaron,
Aaron.
and he's also a drag queen.
No way. Oh my God.
Yep.
Aaron?
Guerra,
Drag.
yes.
Is he drag house?
Yeah, he's part of the
I
drag
know
house.
him. Of course, I've seen his pictures. Yes. Well, hi,
Yes.
Aaron. That's awesome. I didn't know
Yes.
that. That is so
Yeah.
cool. Well, at least you guys
That's my
support each
boyfriend
other.
girlfriend. Yeah.
That is
Oh yeah,
amazing.
he's my biggest supporter and I'm his big supporter as well.
Oh, that is beautiful. I'm so happy for you guys.
Thank
Good.
you.
So I really hope one of these days or weekends I'll go to Laredo and you guys do a drag house show at Frontera, and I'll definitely go. But it's gonna have to be during the fall or winter because I don't do hot weather. And I'm not gonna drive there,
Oh,
especially next
yeah.
month, which is gonna be the worst.
The hottest. Yeah.
Ooh la la.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't know how you
Pero
guys
ya
in Laredo do
estás.
it
When
seriously.
you come, oh yeah, no, I don't know how I do it either. Whenever we're doing shows outside,
Yeah. Now that's another
you
thing.
know.
You
Oh
spectators,
yeah.
when you go to this to Frontera, which is there's no air condition. They're outside
There-
in the
we're
freaking heat.
outside.
Oh my
Yes,
god.
ma'am. But we're doing the damn thing.
Oh my
It doesn't
god.
matter.
More
A few
reasons to admire you
mimosas.
guys. Seriously.
Yeah.
That is impressive and amazing. So good for you. And
Thank you.
lastly, is there anything you would like to share with the audience that you would like for them to know about who you are, Cande, and who you are as Vera? Something that maybe you have never shared before, or something that you would like for them to know about you.
Just that I know I have a really bad resting bitch face. I really do. But trust me, I'm so lovable and fun, and I love everybody. I love meeting new people. I love getting to know people. I love connecting with people. So if you ever see me on the street, in drag, out of drag, say hi to me, girl. We'll be talking forever. We'll be gal pals.
Yeah, that's good. And this is really important. I mean, because if you guys paid attention at the beginning, he said that he was a very introverted, shy person. And then as he grew
Yeah.
up, he became more extroverted. He adopted more of the extroversion abilities. But his natural abilities is being an introvert with knowing how to adapt being an extrovert. So that means that that does not come to him necessarily naturally. So, and I know that because me as an introvert, I know exactly what you mean. And those introverts out there, you know exactly what I mean as well. So when you see him with that resting bitch face, it's not personal. Don't take it personal. Don't
No.
think that he's like, oh, I don't like you. It's just that he is, having introspection and having a dialogue maybe in his face, in his head, and he's not
Oh yeah.
necessarily thinking about what he looks like to the outer world. So
Mhm. Thinking about a sandwich.
thinking of a sandwich. There you go. Good. Well, thank you so much, Candy. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. I am sure there are a lot of things that we left out and we were not able to talk about. And maybe we can do another conversation later with Alan.
Ah, that would be
That would
fabulous.
be nice. One with the drag house and one with Aaron. That would be really cool. So let me know when you're available. When we can schedule it later. And yes, thank you so much, Candy. Have an amazing, beautiful rest
No.
of the day. I appreciate it.
Thank
Do you have any
you.
questions for me before we leave?
No, I just want to say thank you so much, George, for allowing me to do this podcast with you. And yes, like 100% down. I'm gonna get all the girls to do the show with
That,
you, so we can all talk on the podcast. We're just gonna have to extend it to like 3 hours, girl. Okay.
that works for me. There's no limit in this podcast. That is amazing. Awesome. Well, good luck. Congratulations on your new title.
Thank
Keep
you.
doing what you're doing, sharing and spreading love and cheer and joy everywhere you go. Congratulations on your future endeavors. Is there anything coming up for you professionally that any appearances, performances, places that you will go in the near future that you would like the audience to know and for them to prepare and go see you?
Yes. You guys need to come out and cheer for me when I go compete for Miss Gay Texas US of A at large. It is a 3-day event in Houston at Club Crystal. It is September 26th through the 29th. I will be there in Houston. I hope to see everybody there. I hope to see all my fans there cheering me on from Laredo. Y'all better go. It's 5 hours. If I can drive, you can drive.
That is good. And go support. But on the meantime, from now until then, wherever you see him performing, don't forget to tip well.
Yes,
Don't be
ma'am.
stingy. Just get your dollars. All
Ah,
right. So
get your
good.
dollars, get your cash app.
Yes. Get your cash app, food stamps, anything. Everything works. Anything works.
Yes,
A good
ma'am.
hot meal, a burger. Here's a coupon for Whataburger after the show. Anything works.
Please,
Yes.
yes.
I know it. I know it. We're like, we're twin souls. I get it. I get it.
Mhm.
So thank you, Candy. I appreciate it. And thank you everyone for listening to us and hoping now you know a little bit more about Cande and about Vera and about his story. And we'll let you know when the second part will be coming up. And for those of you out
Very
there,
soon.
smile, be happy, find happiness in yourself, have confidence, don't be afraid. And if there's anything troubling you, just know that you're not alone and just reach out to someone. I'm one of those people. I'm sure Vera Kenda would be not opposed for you reaching out and ask advice. We're here to help. We're part of the community and we've been there where
100%.
you are right now. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a lovely rest of the day. And please do not forget to live happily beyond the closet door. Bye, everyone.